Knowledge is the small picture. Wisdom is the large one. My friends, each and every day we strive to gain knowledge, and then of course, as that grows and as we get used to the market, we gain that wisdom, which is what is most empowering. Let's jump into these charts, see where we are. This is a Monday where everything is up. The biggest up move for the day is bonds, but we see everything moving up. And again, after the stall last week, and of course, we saw things in that shortened trading week starting off going down. And then that was on Tuesday after the Labor Day holiday. And then Wednesday, Thursday, things popped up a lot on Friday morning, pulled back some on Friday afternoon, but again, started moving up again, 0.25%. We have a green candle. This is a Heikin-Ashi candlestick. Volume, not much to write home about on the weekly, but look at the volume on the 2-day. And of course, a lot of that came when? Well, that would have been on the Friday morning, in the morning where things really jumped up. And then pretty much a little below average after that, but that resulted in a decent size volume on the 2-day chart as things continued to click along. So as we start this new week, we do have a trend that has resumed going up. We shall see how long this goes. But as I say over and over again, my friends, don't forget what is going on. Massive deficit spending at the federal level, money printing, quantitative easing. They may not be advertising that, but we are spending money from the future today, inflating our currency. What happens when you inflate the currency? The money becomes worth less, which means real things are worth more. It's just a function of inflation. And of course, the stock market represents what? Real things like your house, like your car, like your groceries, all of which just keep going up in value, not because anything beautiful is happening, but because the money is becoming worth less and less and less. So we are up in the 70s probabilities again on both the S&P and the NASDAQ 100. You can see those real numbers if you're a Patreon member. We have already released, I already emailed out as soon as I got to it after the markets closed, the trade execution summary grid to our Patreon members, along with the 5-day plus ETF trading analysis and execution plan. If you go to the Patreon page, anyone can look at it from a couple of days ago. But of course, we send it out each and every day to our Patreon members. Then the next day, we open it up to the free members on Patreon and then to everybody else on that third day. So again, my friends, we are long on stocks. Look at the NASDAQ 100. It was up double what the S&P was. Again, the S&P only up 0.25%. NASDAQ up right at 0.50%. I think technically 0.49. But again, a green up candle forming. Very decent volume on the 2-day. Again, that primarily comes, it's pretty decent both on Friday morning, afternoon, and in the morning on Monday. And of course, we are still long, in fact, a little longer on the NASDAQ than we are on the S&P 500, and the backtest accuracy is just a wee bit higher. So stocks resume the climb. Now, things could change for the week, just like I told you last week, that things could turn around at a moment's notice and slam down. It could happen this week. I told you last week it could move up. And of course, it moved up. We can see that showing itself on Monday. Let's leave stocks, go to bonds. Look at that huge green candle, up 1.33% for the day. Look at when we saw TLT, 20-year U.S. government bonds, starting to take off back the last Wednesday, the 3rd of September, blowing through the weekly trend line, jamming up strong on Friday, and on Monday, just a hammering up. after we had the green spinning top, the telltale sign on a bottom, right? Well, things just hammered up. Decent volume for the last many days on the 2-day. And of course, you can see lots of higher than average volume on the half-day chart. Let's take a look at gold. Gold resuming also. After starting off slowly on the week beginning the 25th of August, things jacking up last week. Again, we kept talking about back on the 22nd of August as gold started taking off, volume staying decent, getting higher, candles getting longer. We had that one pullback on Thursday morning and afternoon, and then on Friday, and then again Monday, just a jamming as gold continues to move up. And lastly, we will take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin up a little bit for the day, 0.41%, not anything to write home about. Just a flat little candle here for the week. A green spinning top for the 2-day, less than average volume. Things popped up in gold in the morning, not as high in the afternoon. Volume okay on that half-day chart, trying to push through that weekly trend line. And we shall see as the week progresses if Bitcoin's bottom or interim bottom has been hit, or if it's just popping up a little bit and going to slack back down again. So we'll keep an eye on things. But again, interesting day. Everything up. Some up more than others. And of course, again, long positions accelerating in, of course, bonds, in gold, and in not Bitcoin, but the S&P 500 and NASDAQ 100, our stock indices. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth.